So continuing the last video where I showed you how to create this dynamic level select grid, just to recap, what this does is it lets you store the levels of your game in a table called levels, and you, depending on how many levels in the game you have, you just create a new row for that level, and then when you go back to your level select page, you basically run it, and it will use that table to populate this this level selector grid. So the next step is to make these buttons active and do something, and as well show you how to do this sort of lock unlock system in a game. It's pretty straightforward. If you spend some time, you probably just figure it out, but I thought I'd show you what I've done, and I actually don't know if this is the best method, but it's pretty simple. I'm doing it for a game I'm currently working on, which will hopefully come out soon. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is we need to make sure that we have the right attributes. So we're going to need a game attribute, and basically we want to have an attribute that tells us which level in the game is currently unlocked. And so why don't we just actually start with that. So we have we'll use an integer because levels we're using as sort of numbers 1 through however many levels you have. So I'm going to create a new integer game attribute, and we're going to call that unlocked level. So this is going to tell us which level is which level is unlocked, and this is something we're going to want to save into save to a permanent attribute later, and we know that's going to always be at least 1, otherwise the person isn't going to be able to play the game. So that's the first game attribute that we're going to want to set. Now once we have that set, what we need to do is adjust the buttons so that they actually click into the level that we want. So there's a couple interesting sort of things about this. The main thing is that the buttons allow us to set certain attributes within them in terms of where it's going to take you. So why don't we actually just drop into one of the buttons? We'll drop into the button for now. So from our last tutorial, we have this level select button. This is the button. This is the button that says, I want to go into this level. So for now, it doesn't actually do anything because there's no attribute for clicking. So first we want to create a rule for when someone actually presses the button. Now we're going to assume already that this button's clickable. So the first thing we want to do is when the button is touched, and this is up to you how you want it specifically to work, but we're going to go and we're going to change the level, which is the scene, and we don't want to go to the next scene. What we actually want to do is we want to use something called the level. What the heck is it called? Right, the at index. So we want to go to the scene at index, and we want to use a formula to figure out what index we want to go to. So when you click this button, we basically want it to go to whatever level we are. So we know what level we are because we have an attribute called which level. If you look at the top, we set that attribute upon us being spawned. So we get spawned, and we know what level we are because it basically happens in the order that we get spawned by the spawn table. Okay, and that's part of the last lesson. You can go and have a look at that. So we would want to, you'd think we'd want to just go in and set that to be what level are we, and that would be it. But one of the issues is our game has more than just levels as scenes. So what we really want to do is we want to set ourselves to be our own level number. Set the scene index that we're going to be, whatever level we are, plus whatever scenes exist before the sort of levels start in the scene. So if I go back to my scenes, you'll see that we've got the level select screen itself. Now that's going to be scene index 1. And what we don't want is to go to that scene because as part of the level select. So we're going to actually add one, and in your case, you might have a number of sort of introductory scenes or splash screen, etc. You're going to want to keep note of that, and then you're going to add that number to the level select when you're deciding which level. So the first thing we're going to go is +1 because we only have we have that one scene before, which is the level select scene itself. So just keep that in mind. So whenever we click this button, it's going to take us to that plus however many scenes are before. So the second thing I want to do quickly is just drop a few more levels in here. So we've got level 1. Within level 1, I've just put an actor here that will pull in and tell you, he can decide what level he is, and also a button that's going to sort of pass the level and then take you back to the level select screen. So let's put a couple more of these levels in there. I'm just going to do level 2, level 3. Okay, so that should be good. So now if we go back to the level select and we press preview, you'll notice everything looks the same, but these are now clickable. So if I click one, it's going to take me to level 1. The 2 is going to take me to level 2. Now, it's not showing it yet because we haven't actually hooked up those levels to know what level they are. And one of the reasons is that we need another attribute, which is called the current level for the game. So the game itself should know what level it's currently on. So the way we do that is we create another game attribute. And along with unlockedLevel, we're also going to have an integer for current level. This is a helpful attribute which we use in a number of places within the game. So current level, you just leave that, and then once we go back, we're going to go back into the actor for the level select. And whenever you when you actually press the button, in addition to going to the scene, we want to change an attribute because we want to change that game attribute, which is the current level, to whatever level you've selected, and that way the game keeps track of where you are. So we're going to go and choose level select and which level. So again, this is all based on how this is spawned, and the button itself knows what level it is. So now what's happening is when you're clicking a button, it's setting a game level attribute to be the current level, and then it's setting the and then it's sending you to that level, which is the game index, which is the scene index +1, and 1 again is sort of the number of scenes you have before your sort of block of levels starts. Now if we click on 1, it takes us to 1. If we click on 2, it takes us to level 2. If we click on 3, it takes us to level 3. And then if we go to 4, it won't work because those indexes don't exist, or those levels don't exist. So that's another issue. You want to make sure you have enough actual level scenes set up so that it encapsulates all of the numbers that you've put into your level table. So next step we want to do is this unlocking and locking thing. So let's go back into our level select just so we can look at our game attributes. And we have the game attribute, which is unlockedLevel, so it's at 1. So first, let's go ahead and update the level select actor so we can tell whether it's unlocked or not. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we can only click this actor if this actor's level is currently unlocked. So step 1 would be let's go, and if all the conditions are valid, we're going to add a new one, and we're going to say the game attribute, which is going to be game unlocked level, has to be greater than or equal to this guy's level. That should make sense. So I'm going to hit that, say that. So that's clickable now. So let's see where we are with that. So now we know that level 1 is unlocked because we set that as the default game attribute. So we're going to go click it, and that's unlocked. That's great. But if we click on 2, you see we can't. So another thing we can do here, just so we can see which ones are locked and unlocked, is we're going to add a new the same rule as this one. So we're going to say if game unlocked level is greater than or equal to level select this level, Then we'll set the color. So let's change the attribute. I think, is there a opacity one? Yeah. Change the attribute, level select, color, alpha to 1. Otherwise, let's change color select alpha to 0.5. So if we go ahead and hit preview, so now you can see all the ones that are locked, and obviously it's only level 1 because we've set the first unlocked one to be level 1. So the next step we have to do is change the game's unlocked state when you pass a level. Now, I'm not really going to build all that in now, but what I can do is I've got this back button in that sends you back to the scene. So we're going to change an attribute, and we're going to change an attribute to game unlocked level to be equal to game current level plus 1. Okay, perfect. So that's pretty rudimentary way of going about it, but we're just demonstrating. So let's go back to the level select, and actually I'm just going to save that quickly, and we're going to preview. So now you can see level 1 is selected or is available. We go to level 1, we play it, we pass it, and then we go back, and now you can see level 2 is available because we passed the level. Level 2 is available. Go back. Now 3 is available. Go back. 4 is available, but there is no level 4, so we know it's not going to work. So that is a really, really basic idea of level unlocking. Again, there are some complexities to this. It really depends on how your game works, how you want it to run. But this is a fairly simple and straightforward method of doing it. So enjoy, and I'll upload the files to a Dropbox so you guys can download them and have a look for yourselves. Okay, talk to you later.